My name is Joseph Carlo.
And I'm Katie Higley.
We're in the East Falls Zine Reading Room, which is in East Falls, Philadelphia.
And it's our home, and it's also a zine library and an event space.
A zine is a self-published piece of work.
And, in some fashion, handmade book or magazine.
Which is why you don't say Zine.
Oh, here it is, haha! It's common for longtime zine makers to have a large collection and then maybe donate it to an academic library or a place where they can archive it and care for it. And I like the idea of that, but I don't think I can part with my zines just yet. But I did want to share them. I didn't want to be hoarding them. I want to share them. I enjoy organizing them and archiving them and bringing them out, bringing certain zines to the forefront to showcase them, and that was the start of it all. But then it immediately became a show space.
There's sort of a long-standing tradition in zine culture too to do poetry readings. Zinesters tour in a way that musicians do. Some people even tour for weeks at a time across the country. Having an event space that is also a zine library is probably not that uncommon among zine folks. It's not always in your house, but this one is. Zines have defined my adult life. It's been the bulk of my career, the bulk of my artistic output. Most of the people that we know, we've met at Zine Fest. The shows that we do at our house has grown our community. So zines have defined our relationship, but also our relationship to the world at large, everyone we know.
Yeah, and it's given shape to our creative lives individually, but together too, because we make zines together. And Joe has design skills and printing skills that I don't have on my own. I advocate that everybody with half an interest in writing and making art, even as a complete and absolute beginner, try making a zine. It's a very democratic medium. It can be extremely inexpensive to produce, and it's entirely within your control. And that's very freeing for people, particularly people who don't necessarily consider themselves writers or artists. It's for everyone.
My name is Joyce Hatton. I go by Jo. I'm a zine maker and comic artist living in West Chile. I just really like how in zine culture people are like, well, I can't find this anywhere else, so I'm gonna make it because I want it to be in the world. I got into making zines when I was going through a period of trauma in my life. I had breast cancer and also was dealing with some mental health issues, and I was looking for a way to express myself and express the things that I was experiencing. And so it was really helpful to find other people who were going through those same things and being able to read their zines and share my zines with them. My practice has really evolved since the earlier days of zine making, because at the time I was really just trying to throw out a life preserver. But through that, I found huge hobby of art making, and specifically illustration and comics. Now my zines are less personal and less vulnerable, even though they still tend to deal with mental health and trauma. Blocks is a comic that I did about a bird who is experiencing some trauma, and the bird gets caught up in hair and is really into it because it's very comfortable. So it's a story about how negative coping skills that we learn when we're experiencing trauma or mental health issues are really comfortable and really great until they stop working. And so it's about how important it is to be able to heal and move past negative coping skills and just become healthier.
Hi, welcome to the Soapbox. Hi, have you been here before? Part of our collection is cataloged and organized by categories. I'm Mary Tassillo, and I am co-founder and board president of the Soapbox Community Print Shop and Zine Library.
I'm Lauren Jade Martin. I'm a board member at the Soapbox.
Our current estimate is that we have 3,500 zines in the library. I think something I treasure about the zines in our collection is that they represent so many different kinds of people, so many different interests, and this real compulsion and need that people have to communicate their story to other people.
Some people trace the origin of zines way back in history to Thomas Paine's Common Sense. So the long, long history of printmaking and publishing. Other people date what we know today as zines having more origins in the 60s with sci-fi fanzines and music magazines. Zines really took off, I would say, in the 80s and 90s, sort of the heyday of zine making, especially in the 90s when you had a lot of people making zines and it being associated with punk scenes and Riot Grrrl and the rise of the Xerox machine and the photocopier, making it more accessible to people. I think it's important that we hold on to zines as historical artifacts, and it's really nice that people can come by and see how zines have been around for decades and see how they've changed and the content changes and the way people make them has changed. Right now they exist at do-it-yourself spaces like we have at the Soapbox, but people at libraries and museums and archives are also collecting them and recognizing the importance of zines and giving people access to them.